day, viewers, and a warm welcome to another exciting episode of Your Voice, reaching you from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Media Center. My name is Mba Emmanuel. With me today in the studio for this show is an erudite Nigerian, Dr. Micheal Nwoko, a fellow of Royal Society for Public Health, and also the Chief of Staff to distinguished Senator Nwoko, who is representing Delta North Senatorial Zone. Doctor, welcome to the show. It's my pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
How's work going on, sir?
Well, very well. We're working.
Oh, that's a good one. I must commend your efforts in projecting the works of the distinguished Senator Nwoko over there in the southeast, and also Nigeria. He is a respected man when it comes to legislation in Nigeria. And because of this, I'm going to be taking you on some questions pertaining to his legislative work for his constituents and also for Nigeria in particular. And then let's start our conversation. Dr. Micheal, you are a fellow of the Royal Society for Public Health. That's UK, right?
United Kingdom, yes.
Yeah, United Kingdom. Let's talk about your role as a member of this.
Yes, the Royal Society for Public Health United Kingdom found me sometime in 2021 during COVID-19. At that time, I was Senior Special Assistant to Delta State Governor on Health Monitoring. We did a lot with respect to the public health, enhancing the public health, of Delta State and Nigeria at large. At that time, we did a whole lot of work on that COVID-19. We didn't sleep, had policy papers flying from our nostrils, our eyes, our ears, our sensory organs to ensure that we guarantee the safety, of the people in the wake of COVID-19, etc. So because of the enormity of the task at that time under COVID-19, so they found me and I was inducted as a fellow of the Royal Society for Public Health United Kingdom sometime September 2021, to be precise. That was under COVID-19, and the whole idea is for us to be able to carry out effective advocacy that can bring about public health, safety, of the people of our immediate society, etc. At that time, that is what I see do till tomorrow. Public health, to guarantee the public health of our immediate society. Drawing from what is obtainable, in the Western world in terms of the healthcare indices, etc. We must be able to ensure that there is healthcare globalization. It's very, very important. Standard of healthcare all over the world, even if it's not the same with the developing nation, but there should be some measurable outcomes. Are you getting in terms of, the healthcare system, etc.? That is the whole idea, and that is the work I do with precision.
Thank you, Dr. Micheal Nwoko. Now, the distinguished senator is advocating for these extra states here in Abuja at the upper chamber, and his constituents are over there. Now, I want to know, what is the senator's office communication like with his constituency, making particular reference to when it comes to complex policies, just like healthcare, tax reform bills, and then climate change and other ones. How does he communicate, get feedback from his own constituency?
Yes, I can state that there is effective communication channel between the office of the distinguished senator here at the National Assembly in Abuja, and of course the people of Delta North Senatorial District, who are his constituents. He is a grassroots politician and a grassroots mobilizer and astute one for that matter. Yes, he visits the constituency regularly, where he engages his constituents, etc. And so he makes presentations from time to time as to his activities in the 10th Senate by way of bills and motions that are of strategic national importance, as well as people-oriented projects that he is bringing to the fore, for the people, in line with his electioneering promises, to the people of Delta North Senatorial District. There's also an effective media communication channel where members of the constituents are, updated with information as to his activities in the 10th Senate. Then, of course, we equally have this feedback mechanism, from the constituents, etc. And of course, he consults very widely with leaders of the senatorial district. He feels their pulse at every point in time and knows when it's palpable, before he goes about, his policies, his programs, bills and motions, etc. So I can state that he's very much in touch with his constituents, and we have this feedback mechanism as well from his constituents.
Oh, that's good.
That is the whole idea of being a true representation.
Sure. I like your statement that he's actually a grassroots politician. We're now talking about projects for his constituents.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we have a list of some of these projects he's doing that is touching life in his own community, in his own senatorial district?
He's done a lot. In fact, after this program, I'm going to share with you a catalog of his, people-oriented projects. In fact, when he came on board in June 2023, that was when the 10th Senate was inaugurated. In fact, he came in with so much, zeal and determination to deliver promptly and above board on his campaign promises to the people. And it's our first project. I can tell you that the single senator was about the first senator in the 10th Senate to have carried out an empowerment program. That was in November of 2023, involving over 260 of his constituents. Youths and women were trained and empowered, and they were supported with funds to be able to grow their businesses, for some to also establish new businesses, etc. and all that. And so having done that, he has sustained his trajectory when it comes to people-oriented projects in the senatorial district. In fact, I can tell you that he was one of the first senators in the 10th Senate to have commissioned constituency projects captured in the 2024 budget. That was, in 2024, exactly June 2024, exactly 1 year in office, where he commissioned all the one solar, street light projects in Kwale. Kwale is in the Ndokwa Ukwanifera constituency, part of Delta North Central District, etc. And so he has continued. When it comes to empowerment, training and empowerment, his training and empowerment program really has captured over 1,000 constituents.
Oh, wow.
Over 1,000 constituents, just under 1 year in office as senator.
I can only say wow, because these are enormous.
Thank you.
Okay, an overwhelming projects going on, and I believe that some of this might not actually be known to the people. Okay, and then that's why we are actually having this interview for people to understand what their senators are actually doing for them. Kudos and applause.
Thank you
for the distinguished.
I can tell that the single senator has not even started. Following his trajectory of people-oriented project programs and policies, he has not even started. People
say, when you say going further from that, you did mention, and this is why he has to align his political aspirations to that of the president. Now, let me take you to this angle. In the South, the president himself is undergoing a landmark project, which is the Lagos-Calabar highway, coastal highway.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and I want to know, do you think that this could in any way affect the disposition or the position of the people along this axis, which also affects his own constituency coming 2027 elections?
Yeah, thank you for that particular perspective. Yes, I must once again commend His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his well thought out project, that is the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Expressway. That road is unique. That road is unprecedented in the history of this country. Sure. 6 lanes on both sides, and of course a rail in between, etc. And that road is going to open a new vista of economic hub in this country, because that area that this road is going to traverse, it represents another economic hub. That's the coastal part of the country. Apart from the aesthetics, apart from the fact that it's going to grow tourism in the area, etc., being able to connect, different states. In other words, that road is actually interstate, even though it is coastal road, etc. Interstate connects a lot of states. You have Lagos on this axis, you have Ondo on this axis, you have Edo, you have Delta, you have Bayelsa, you have rivers, you have cross rivers, etc. Interstate, you can see what is going to open up. Yeah. Economic hub, in this nation. And so I want to thank Mr. President, for his well thought out, vision, in that regard. And also, let me also elaborate, to an extent, an area that, the vision of Mr. President and all the distinguished senator, where the visions align. There is one particular project that the distinguished senator attracted to the senatorial district. It's also a coastal road. It was captured in the NDC budget of 2024. And that coastal road is actually from Asaba through the Oko Aziz down to Okbai, to Abo, Uchi, etc., down to Patani. Now, it is going to actually hit the coastal road on the Aziz. That's the Lagos-Calabar Express Road on that other Aziz. And so there's going to be a link, a connection from that Lagos-Calabar Road on this other Aziz down to this coastal road that the single senator has attracted, you know, in the NDC budget, etc. So from that link and connection, you can access this other part of Delta State effortlessly and, you know, easily, etc. And these roads will also, you know, bring about movement of goods and services. Now, let us look at the semantics, the vicious circle, or the chain that is going to create, the economic, you know, economic implication of the road. It will boost agriculture.
Sure.
It will boost tourism. Okay. And a lot more.
And easy movement, transportation.
That is the whole idea. Transportation, easy movement of goods and services is going to boost agriculture, it's going to boost the tourism industry, etc. And this ultimately will contribute to the GDP of the economy.
Sure.
Now, if you look at what has happened in this country, you know, since the emergence of Mr. President, I can tell you that Nigeria is in for a lot. Nigeria is in for melodramatic changes in all critical sectors of the economy of this country. There is no one of it. There is no one of it that Mr. President really has not touched, because he understands the complex nature of the heterogeneous entity called Nigeria.
Exactly.
And he knows precisely how to solve the problem of Nigeria. The man has in-depth knowledge. Mr. President has in-depth knowledge of the dynamics, the political dynamics of this country. And he knows how to address it effectively.
Sure.
And it is the result that we're getting today. When he came on board and he announced the removal of first subsidy, people say, hey, that is the end. He wants to finish Nigerians. But we're seeing the effect today.
Exactly.
For the first time in over 2 decades,
there was
the refineries are now working in this country. First time in over 2 decades. Refineries were shut down. And he has made it possible. Since 2 decades, refineries have not worked.
Even with some of his
Port Harcourt refinery now is working full capacity utilization.
Exactly.
Warri refinery is also working now, full capacity utilization. Kaduna is going to come on stream very shortly. And look at the support that they are giving to Dangote refinery, etc. The whole idea is that with the removal of subsidy, it now enabled us to do inward looking, to be able to identify the existential problem of this country and know how to address it effectively. And that is, you know, the results that we're getting today. And now, if that happens, when you have all these refineries, and a lot more refineries that will come up now, of course, with the legal framework, etc., the signing of the PIA, you know, that's the Petroleum Industry Act, etc., and all that, you'll agree with me that a lot more refineries will come on stream. And if that happens, we will now be able to guarantee full capacity utilization of these refineries, and also ultimately guarantee petroleum products that can meet with our domestic consumption, and also guarantee even export. I can remember many years ago in the 90s, we were exporting petroleum products to neighboring countries. All those just went down the drain.
Just like that.
And nobody had thought it twice to really understand the complex nature of our problems and address it. No other person has done that, apart from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, how does this affect Nigerian politics come 2027?
My brother is very clear. Let me tell you something. You see, you don't need a rocket scientist, okay, to enable you put on your thinking caps, or for you to have discerning mind to understand, you know, what true leadership is all about. Listen, this is not about grammar. This is not about rhetorics.
Sure.
It's about the practicality of what is on the ground.
And people are saying that.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he came on board, he proved to Nigerians that, look, I understand the complex nature of the existential problems of this country, and he knows how to fix it. And he's fixing it. He's in a hurry. Like I said, he's in a hurry to carry out reforms. Yeah. And what we need in this country really are reforms. Reforms that can turn around the fortune of this country.
And these reforms are long overdue.
Before now, my brother, is an irony. It's an irony that a nation, a hitherto rich nation, yet about 90% of its population are living below poverty line. Is that not an irony?
Yes.
How can it be said that the 5th largest producer of crude oil in the world is importing the finished products? Is that not an irony? that defies every economic indices all over the world.
Sure.
Truly, it's been a shame. And so he came on board and felt that, look, this must be addressed. And he's doing that with precision. Now we're getting the results. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is the man that understands the complex nature of the existential problem of this country. Now, he has proven immense capacity to deliver promptly and above board on the campaign promises to Nigerians. And we're getting the results. So you don't need to go out there and be rhetorical and talking to the people as to what you have done, because they are saying it. Nigerians are now feeling the impact of his work as Mr. President. They are now feeling the impact of a president who is truly a political colossus, that feels the pulse of the people of Nigeria and knows when it's palpable. A man who understands the existential problems of the country. And the man has marshaled out strategy modalities with which to address it, for which we are getting results today. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I can tell you, before the end of his tenure, does not need to campaign for a second tenure. Nigerians will put strings on him to return as Mr. President. And you're going to see the overwhelming support you will enjoy in the elections come 2027.
Amen to that. Okay.
Thank you.
Igbo people will always say, okay, ni habanaka, and I use Yoko.
Thank you.
Meaning that as he's doing, people are seeing the evidence of his work.
Precisely.
But let's trickle down to the senator's constituency, Delta North Senatorial District. Just some weeks ago, the distinguished senator crossed over to All Progressive Congress Party. Out there in Nigeria, the air is like, what could this be? What could this not be? But now let's take it down to his constituency. How has his constituency welcomed this development? And how do you think this is going to shape 2027 elections?
Thank you so much for that question. You see, the defection of the distinguished senator from the PDP to the APC really enjoyed overwhelming ovation in Delta North Senatorial District. We have been getting the feedback from members of the constituency, and the reasons for his defection really was clearly spelled out because it is highly justified. You see, membership of a political party is usually based on political, ideological, and philosophical leanings. And if at some point you now realize that these leanings are no longer being protected or in tandem with, you know, what your political party represents, what do? You need to chart a new course, you know, for the overall good of the people. You know, I tell people, I say, look, his defection has nothing to do with his personal reason. If it has to do with personal reason, then he should have remained in the PDP, you know, to allow himself to be boxed to a corner by the leaders who think that it is just themselves alone, who wants to be worshipped, you know, without recourse to the people. But he said no, that it was the people who gave him this mandate in trust. And so it is important he represents the interests of the people. And the whole idea is just all about the people. Okay. He wants to be able to be in a position that can enhance his capacity to deliver on his campaign promises to the people without incoherencies, etc. This is what has lent credence to his defection from the PDP to the APC. And it's been a welcome development from, you know, the nooks and crannies of his constituency in Delta North, you know, Senatorial District. They have equally pledged their total support. You can see the wave of defection, etc. Yes. You know, his teaming supporters are defecting in droves on a daily basis because they believe in his vision, they believe in his ideology, they believe in his capacity and ability to deliver on the dividends of democracy to the people of Delta North Senatorial District. And so now, looking at what he portends, you know, for the 2027 elections, it's very clear that having been able to align effectively with the vision of Bola Ahmed, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in order to deliver on the dividends of democracy to the people of Delta North Central District and to Nigerians at large. You will come to the irresistible, if not beguiling conclusion, that the people are totally in support, you know, of, you know, his defection, and the people of Delta North Central District are pulling strings on him on a daily basis to ensure that he returns for a second tenure. However, that is not the reason for his defeat. Like I said earlier, it's all about the people. He wants to be able to deliver, because after election, there comes governance. Yes. Governance really is a very critical component of our political system, yes, because that is a point wherein you need to be able to now look at the people, identify the needs of people, to say, look, during the electionary processes, I made solemn campaign promises to you, and you gave me the mandate and trust to be able to deliver on these campaign promises. And so it is now time for me to be able to deliver. Are you getting in response to the mandate that you give to me in trust, etc.? That is all about governance, which is what he's doing with precision. And he does not want any sort of encumbrances, etc. And that is why he is where he is today. Having aligned with the progressive fold, he will do more for the people. And I know that having delivered and brought about melodramatic changes for the people, like I said, he has not even started.
That's a big one. Thank and a big expectation on the senator.
Thank you.
Now, going into 2027 and beyond, what is your expectation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for Nigeria?
Yes, expectations are high on the part of Nigerians. They say, to whom much is given, much is expected. Nigerians have now tested the capacity of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as it affects effective delivery on the dividends of democracy to the people. And so now expectations are high. Nigerians now expect more, because they know that he's full of capacity. He has his thinking caps. He has discerning mind. He is one that feels the pulse of the people, irrespective of religious, cultural, ethnic belief, etc. That the country is made of as a heterogeneous entity. Truly Nigeria is not an easy country to govern due to its heterogeneous nature. However, but now he has been able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he has the capacity. He understands the complex nature of the existential problems of this country, and so he knows how to fix it, because he has demonstrated capacity to be able to fix it from the science that we are getting. And so the expectations on Nigerians are high. We know that he's going to bring about melodramatic changes in this country on or before the end of his first tenure. And I know that Nigerians, by reason of his track records and antecedents and his achievements, etc., they will put strings on him to return for a second tenure. And of course, the first tenure of Mr. President is a lot. It's a lot for Nigerians, because the problem that has bedeviled this country over the years, within a short period of time, he has been able to put the country in a closed circuit. He has been able to fix, the country. He has been able to put Nigeria now on a direction, on a path that portends, enormous progress and prosperity for the country, which is a very solid foundation that he has just laid. And therefore, it's an indication that there is a lot more to come in due course at the end of his first tenure. And I know that Nigerians will return him back by the grace of God for a second tenure, for him to consolidate on the good work that he has started.
Senator Nwoko has been an advocate for extra states for the Southeast. And if I correct, he has been moving for a Nyoma state for the Southeast. But now, the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has created the Southeast Development Commission, and also have been able to win the creation and the functionality of the local government autonomy. Is there in any particular way this development can affect the advocacy of the distinguished senator?
Thank you so much for that beautiful question. I think what we're seeing really is having trend of events that connotes progress for Nigeria, progress for the people of Anyoma in Delta State, progress for the people of the southeast of Nigeria. Yes, I agree with you that the president, through his reforms, has been able to effectively advocate and deliver on his promise for there to be effective regional development and integration. This has lent credence to the creation of various regional development commissions, including the Southeast Development Commission. And of course, you also look at the creation of the local government autonomy that you talked about. That was achieved through the court, through the judgment of the Supreme Court. Yes. And by reason of that judgment, local government autonomy had taken effect in Nigeria. Sure. This is really unprecedented in the history of Nigeria as a country. And I would, on that note, give so much credence to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is so much in a hurry to carry out reforms in this country, reform that can, contribute in no small measure towards, bringing about melodramatic changes in Nigeria. That is what we're seeing today. Then, of course, distinguished Senator President Nwoko, no wonder that he chose to align with the progressive ideology of Mr. President by joining the progressive fold. You'll agree with me that just recently he joined the progressive fold because it happens that his political, ideological, and philosophical leanings very much aligns, with that of Mr. President, and it's really a right step in the right direction. Distinguished Senator Ned Nwoko had effectively campaigned, for the creation of Anioma State. Anioma represents his senatorial district, and the Anioma people have a lot of cultural belief system, ideology, etc. that is very much in tandem with that of the southeastern Nigeria. Yeah. But the creation of Anioma State, the agitation has been on, you agree with me, for over 50 years. And so he has stated without fear of contradiction in different forums that he didn't begin the struggle, but he will end the struggle. So through the legislative process that he has instituted at the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by way of sponsoring the bill for the creation of Anioma State, that bill really is enjoying overwhelming ovation and support by the 10th Senate. Currently it is at the level of the Constitution Amendment Committee, and just a few months ago, during the retreat of the Constitution Amendment Committee of the 10th Senate in Kano, a lot of issues were presented before the committee, and of course Anioma State was one of those matters that were discussed extensively. I know that very soon the work will be done at the committee. They will do due diligence to the work at the committee level, and I know that after then it will be brought back to the floor of the Senate for deliberations. And I have a firm belief that with the work that has been done by way of due diligence in consideration of the creation of Anioma State, that bill will obviously be passed. And if it passes, the second, third reading, and it's eventually signed into law, I can tell you that that would have represented one of the, greatest legacies that, distinguished senator or any Anioma son would have left. And that would, of course, put his name in the sands of time. Sure. Because even though the dusk of the century has blown through us, he will never be forgotten, for that struggle for the creation of Anioma State. Now, Anioma State, if created, I can state without fear of contradiction that that state will be economically viable, in the sense that 6 out of the 9 local government areas that make up Anioma, which is Delta North Central District, are oil producing. Okay. For instance, is notable for one of the largest deposits of gas reserves in the whole of Africa, untapped. Wow. Okay, so it's no gainsaying the fact that the state it created is going to be even more economically viable than some of the states that are currently existing in Nigeria today. And so I can tell you that all indices really points to the fact that the creation of Anioma State is doable. The distinguished senator is doing what he's doing with precision, using the instrument of the legislature, and of course with the backing and support of the executive arm of government. I do believe the firm belief that it will come to the fore. And Anioma people will be able to say that yes, that a senator, indeed, distinguished Senator President Nwoko came and brought about the actualization of this struggle that has been on for over 50 years now.
That's quite commendable, and I must give it to the Prince for what he's doing. And I believe that beneath this advocacy, he's not just doing it because he's from Anioma, but he believes in equality and egalitarian society in order to balance the creation of states in Nigeria. It's quite commendable, as I've said earlier. So it's actually a pleasure having you. Fellow Nigerians, we have been speaking with an erudite scholar, an orator, a man that knows his onions, and I've given it out to us. Before I will let the gentleman go, what are your last words for your constituency and for Nigerians?
Yeah, my message is very clear for the people of Delta North Central District, of course, to Nigerians, is for them to continue to show their unbridled and unflinching support for distinguished Senator Prince Ned Nwoko. as he delivers promptly and above board on his campaign promises to the people. Most of the bills and motions. Arguably, today he is the senator in the 10th Senate with the highest number of bills and motions, and these are bills and motions of strategic national importance. The bills are not only for the exclusive preserve or exclusively for Ipo Delta and Central District, but for the betterment of Nigeria in general. And so a support for Senator Nwoko is a support for the APC, is a support for His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, so that they can continue to work in collaboration to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you once again
And
for having me.
There we have it.
That's the size of our today's package. We have been speaking with Dr. Micheal Nwoko, a distinguished Nigerian. Today's voice comes to you from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Media Center. And I am your favorite presenter, Mba Emmanuel. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. Scrolling now on your screen. See you next time.